Hedgehog, Sega's 1991 Mega Drive game, changed the gaming world. A new face, one that is still just as relevant today as it was 29 years ago. As I'm sure we all know, Sonic is on a quest to defeat Dr. Eggman or Robotnik, take your pick, a scientist who has imprisoned animals in robots and stolen the powerful Chaos Emeralds. Collecting rings will protect you from death, but if you're hit, you'd better try and gather them back. No rings equals one hit death. Sounds harsh, but in reality, Sonic isn't that difficult. Development on Sonic began in 1990 when Sega ordered its developers to create a game featuring a mascot for the company. After considering a number of suggestions, the developers decided on a blue hedgehog and named themselves Sonic Team to match their character. Sonic the Hedgehog, designed for fast gameplay, was influenced by Super Mario series creator Shigeru Miyamoto. Sonic the Hedgehog uses a novel technique that allows Sonic's sprite to roll around curved scenery, which originated in a tech demo created by programmer Yuji Naka. Sega's director Fujio Minagashi had connections to the music industry and suggested his friend Yuzo Kayama to write Sonic's score. However, Sonic Team did not think Hayama's music would fit, so commissioned Masato Nakamura, bassist and songwriter of the J-pop band Dreams Come True. Nakamura said he was surprised when asked to create the soundtrack. He had just started with Dreams Come True, but accepted as he was inspired by the team's desire to outperform Nintendo. Nakamura said the hardest part of creating the soundtrack was the number of sounds that could play continuously. He was limited to 4 and said that his lack of knowledge of music on computers made it impossible. He wrote the soundtrack concurrently with the Dream Comes True album, Million Kisses. Many back in the day thought that the Sonic games contained within Sega's 1997 Saturn release of Sonic Jam were emulated. In actual fact, Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles are all rebuilt to run on the Saturn, making them real ports. This version of Sonic adds in the spin dash, which really does help the game. We also get difficulty settings being easy, normal and original. There are saves too, allowing for you to continue from the last stage you played. The saves also allow you to revisit previous stages for some cool time attack action. On the face of it, this is an excellent port, however there are a few issues. Some of the audio may have slight delay before playing. This is particularly noticeable when collecting power sneakers, as rather than speed up the music already playing, a different, faster version of the tune is swapped in. This is just a minor gripe though. I also noticed a few differences in sound effects. Nothing major, but they are slightly different. On the plus side though, now the music doesn't cut out when certain sound effects kick in, since the Saturn has vastly more sound channels than the Mega Drive. Finally, I'm sure the Saturn port slows down in areas, unlike the Mega Drive original, or is that just my imagination? As for the difference in colour, that's just down to how my video capture card captures Saturn RGB footage. Looks fine on my TV. Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis is a pathetic attempt to bring the first Sonic game to the Game Boy Advance. What a disaster this is. The game engine is completely different, giving the game a heavier feel. The speed is also wrong, resulting in Sonic stopping sooner than he should. Sonic also bounces further back than he should, and the frame rate is unbelievably bad. And the zoomed in look makes the game far more difficult than it should be. Content wise, it is similar to the first game, however the spin dash move from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 can be used in a new anniversary mode. This game also includes battery backup saving, allowing for players to easily revisit finished stages. As for the audio, oh man, it's bad, as I'm sure you can tell. Best to leave this one in the rubbish bin where it belongs. Sonic the Hedgehog GBA is a port by game hacker Stealth. This was made as proof of concept in 2007 as a direct counter to the official Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis on the GBA. This version features the spin dash ability, Tails and Knuckles as playable characters, and goes through the 3 acts of Green Hill Zone and the first 2 special stages. The Labyrinth Zone is only partly complete and can be accessed by pressing L and Start at the title screen. In-game you can access debug mode by pressing the R button. There were a few different ports of Sonic to mobile phones of the past, with the best being a widescreen version only ever released in Japan. I have this version, but it's stuck on the phone and that phone no longer works. There's no way to get the ROM off of it either. Let's just say it was very good. But what I can show you is the Western released version, which is also pretty good. It's a lot more stable than the crap on the Game Boy Advance, that's for sure. Sadly, this version is missing sound effects and only contains the first 3 zones. The following zones were a separate download which I can't find. Still, what we have here was pretty good for the Java-based game. There was once an official Mega Drive emulation of Sonic on Android, but we aren't interested in that. We are interested in the real port developed by the Taxman and Stealth, using a proprietary game engine named the Retro Engine. This version of Sonic 1 features a number of enhancements, such as widescreen support, online leaderboards, the ability to play as Tails or Knuckles, and the good old spin dash option. And let's not forget to mention the solid 60 frames per second performance. In this footage, you'll see stuttering as I'm emulating Android. It was preferable to pointing the camera at my phone. Sonic on the 3DS came to us from the masters of ports and emulation, M2. This version was built from the ground up for the 3DS. M2 have added stereoscopic 3D graphics, a CRT style filter and the option to start from any level. Oh, and of course, the addition of the spin dash. Okay, on to the oddballs of the Sonic the Hedgehog ports, and I use ports vaguely. First up is the Master System game, which was developed by Ancient, a studio founded by composer Yuzo Koshido's sister. The premise and the story of the 8-bit Sonic are identical to that of the Mega Drive game. Gameplay is similar as well. Sonic collects rings while avoiding obstacles, but the pace is slightly slower as the 8-bit version focuses more on exploration. While some level themes such as Green Hill Zone are borrowed from the Mega Drive game, others are original. It also features a different soundtrack from Yuzo Koshido, which consists of rearranged versions of Masato Nakamoto's tracks for the original game. Upon first glance, the Game Gear port seems to be the same as the Master System game, but there are quite a few changes made. For a start, many areas have been redesigned to make them more playable and to remove many of the cheap deaths. Sonic Sprite is also different, as are some of the stage graphics. Overall, this Game Gear port is much tighter and fun to play than the Master System game it is based upon. And now time for some unofficial ports. This is Sonic for the Famicom. This port is actually a hack of an unofficial game called Son Mari, a knockoff of Sonic featuring Mario. It was apparently made by Hummer Team. This improved version fixes the audio, cleans up the gameplay, centers the player on the screen and changes a few graphics. It's actually rather good for an unlicensed game. Wow, Tiger have really outdone themselves in the crap factor with this one. I have absolutely no idea what is going on. And let's take a look at all those versions of Sonic the Hedgehog running side by side.